conversation last night about like the stuff that I went through, like with the physical kind of interactions. Not, I don't want to say abuse, like, you know what I mean, but just the different things I had, and he was trying to be like, oh well,
what you talking
you
about?
didn't like the situation I went through when I think I can't even remember the exact conversation, but I thought I mentioned it to you.
Are you talking about a young man that you was dating put his hands on you?
Yeah, basically. So now he never like busted my lip or blacked my eye, like, you know what I mean? But it was enough, you know what I mean? It was definitely like physical altercations. But because I grew up with a twin brother and I was a daddy's girl, I was never the one to just be like, to just sit there like, oh, no. Like, I'm like, nigga, you're not about to talk to me crazy. You're not about to like bully me into what you think and you're wrong. Like it was a thing of like where, not always where I felt like I could defend myself.
You sound like my mom, your grandma.
It was a thing where it's not like I'm like, I can defend myself. I don't need no help. And it was never, that's what I started to realize too, like it was never a thing of where like I wanted Thomas to be in the light of, well, where were you at? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's none of, at that point, my point in time in my life, like that's what I was dealing with. And as a woman, this is what I mentioned to him too. When you have family members that will kill for you, that will, you know, mess somebody up for you, you don't want them to be put in jail. You don't want them to be, now it's this big old war and now they know where we live and now we got to be on watch. You don't want to even invite that type of, so you either get out of it or make your plan to get out of it. Pray to God.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
I hate that, man. It's such a funny position to be in. I could imagine for you as a woman in that situation, because like you said, it's people that love you, that you know will get your back, but
and you don't even want to sacrifice your loved one's life for this crap.
This nigga.
Yeah, for this nigga. Like, no, like, and it became a thing of where Thomas took it personal. Like, you should have called me. Should have called you for what? Like, I can't even talk to you without you turning up. We had a conversation.
I felt the same way, but it's like I can't help but feel like that.
But it's like,
you already know what it is.
And
if I'd
that's
have
what I'm
known
saying.
anything about anything.
That's what I'm saying. You're my dad. That's my twin brother. I don't want to take any chance of losing y'all for anything, for nobody.
But
no
you
man
take
or
the
nothing.
abuse?
No. Like,
I'm not saying like you continuously take it, but because I know if you're talking about certain situations, I don't think you was in a situation that long from what you're saying.
Nah, like it was like, no, to anybody, a couple months, what? Like, you know what I mean? But everybody's different. It's not like every single day, you know what I mean? It just be them one-off situations where you arguing and then all of a sudden, you know, whatever. So, but in any case.
So hold on. What happened? What's the main thing that happened? Because it's talk on the streets, like he put a leash on you, he made you walk like a dog.
Oh, so now there's talk on the streets. You ain't never even know.
So if it wasn't that, then what?
Then what? Tell me what's up.
No, tell me, what happened for real?
Okay, so to try to summarize it.
I feel like you got choked. You know guys is good for choking.
Yeah, that's happened. To summarize it, like, there was two different instances. One kind of just randomly happened over time. Then the other one just kind of like gradually, just kind of like it went from the arguing to like the physical stuff. So the first situation, it was just kind of a thing of where like, I'm not going to say men don't like smart women, but some guys, they don't like when they can't get away with the lies that they used to get away with, or certain things that a woman might just be like, oh, okay, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you like, call him on his bullshit.
Call him on his stuff and be like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, and it don't even, that was my thing, like, I was never one of those type of females that's like, oh, okay, so you, like, I was never, like, super aggressive, you know what I mean? Like, unless once it started to get physical, then I'm like, nigga, you're not about to treat me any old kind of way. Like, now you about to see, like, the other side of me, and I don't even want to be that type of person, but you're bringing it out of me, you know? So it would be a thing of where, like, I would see so many contradictions, like, oh, so it's okay for you to do this, but then if I accidentally step on a crack, now you ready, like, you know what I mean?
Your
like,
mama's back.
Right, like, you broke my mom's back. Like, what? Like, you know, just be some wild, off-the-wall stuff. Or, like, you want to go through my phone whenever you want to, but then if I ask to even see your phone, you think I'm trying to be sneaky and look. It's like all these preconceived notions that guys have about women that they apply to all women. In the same way, it can go the same way for, you know, men. But at the end of the day, it became one of those things where I would find myself in arguments trying to defend myself to say that that's not who I am. Whatever you assume or whatever you thought. Now, of course, I'm not saying that I never did anything wrong. Like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have texted that like that because that could come off. It was always how
Texted
things.
what? You
Like,
did something.
No. Like, literally, the only situation. So, I had texted somebody that I never messed with, never had sex with. Like, hey, this is my new number. And we've been friends for like 10 years. Hey, this is my new number. You can, hit me up because they was going through something like I saw on like social media or something. So, I'm like,
ho. So, you texting this nigga on some
nothing
stuff like
justifies him
like,
putting
hey,
his hands on me.
I saw you was having a hard time with your babe. Hit me up.
No.
That's what you do?
No, not at all.
What you saying, it sound close to that.
Nothing at all. And that's the problem. People can, especially men that want to justify what they want to do.
You said he was going through something and you texted nigga.
I was like, hey, this is my new number. Hit me up. Like,
so
it wasn't hit me up.
Something. If you read a text message,
okay, tell me this. If
you can read it any kind of way. Like,
yes, and that's the problem. A man will interpret it from his own insecurities, and that was what I was dealing with. A man that would tell me he can get money from a girl that he used to mess with, it just because he needs the money. Oh, it's not nothing personal. It's not. I'm not messing with her, but I just need the money.
Foul on the
and that's the thing. That's the thing. Like that's what I'm talking about. The contradictions. Roughness. That's what I'm talking about, the contradictions or the justifications of when it comes to you. And, I just needed some money, so I just hit her up. Did you used to mess with her? Yeah, but that was a long time ago. But
that's a 15-yard penalty.
So that's what I'm saying. But then
from the spot of the
when
foul.
I'm genuinely reaching out to a friend of 10 years, we didn't have sex. I'm literally just saying like, hey, I saw that you were like going through some stuff, like somebody that you care about, that even if y'all kissed or something, 10 years later, y'all still cool. It ain't no like, we might mess around again, we might do something. No, it's just y'all genuine, actual friends and y'all still cool. And you care about that person as an individual. If you see that they're going through something that's affecting their heart, their mind, or whatever. Yeah, I mean, of course, like not when you're married, but like if you're a friend and obviously your partner thinks that they can have friends that they actually had sex with and use them for money or talk to them randomly or, hey, what's up? And they responding, like, you know what I mean? Like that type of stuff. So you can do that.
So why you ain't hitting never mind.
Why I ain't hitting him in the mouth?
So first of all, let me make something clear. Because if anybody's paying attention to this, I want anybody to be clear. Like I would damage this nigga for doing anything to my daughter. Like, so this ain't about him. This conversation is not about him. It's only, to me, I'm just having a conversation about the idea of when you text a person, what's the right thing to text a person? Because I had a situation where I had a text message mixed up in my head. Like I was chilling, I was living my little bachelor life. This was before I met Damali. I was living my little bachelor life. I was at the apartment. And my dude was supposed to come through with these two honeys, or whatever y'all call them, whatever y'all youngsters call them. So my dude was coming through. He was like, yeah, I'm about to come through. Old girl got a friend. You know, this basic stuff.
Right.
My little crib was nice, everything put together. I was spraying, spraying.
Yeah,
I had a little,
wow, you had the, with the line attached to it?
Yeah. So I'm kicking. I'm like, all right. So he's like, I don't know what the girl looks like. You know, he's like, I don't know. I never seen her. So I was like, it should be all right. If not, I'll just kind of like squash it and move on to something else. So he texts me, like, and he like called me out, like he like dogged me. He sent me a text like calling me a sorry nigga, like I'm a sorry nigga. And I'm like, why did you text me like why would you say something like that to me? And it was weird. Like he never said nothing like that to me before. And then like after a while, like I was sitting there and like I was looking at my cup of water, and then like on Jurassic Park, like it was like like I saw these ripples in the water. And no, seriously, he came in, and he had his girl, his normal looking girl. Then he had this young lady, and I'm going to try to do this the best way I can. It wasn't nice. It was nothing nice going on. She was different than what I.
Janet Jackson from Friday?
She was no. I wish. I'd have sat down for a while and talked to that young lady. This was different. This was something. It was like out of, those movies where they try to just like make the most over the top stuff, and it's like it's just over the top. This is like over the top. Like.
But in real life.
Yeah, like the way she looked was, to me personally, I wasn't a fan.
You wasn't attracted.
I wasn't a fan at all. It was way far away. So she came in, and then I thought about the text message. And the text message, he was apologizing. I thought it was
Sorry,
silly.
nigga.
I thought it was really weird that he called me a sorry nigga. And I was like, oh no, he's apologizing.
Oh.
Like, sorry nigga. Like, I'm sorry, my dude. It didn't go the way we thought.
It ain't pan out.
So they came over, you know, they sat down. I was like, yeah, what y'all guys getting into? Y'all got some people coming. We're going to do some music. We're going to record some music in a minute. Like, we're going to record, so whichever y'all want to do, you know, blah, blah, blah. So I tried to be nice about it and, like, smooth it out. But it was just too much. Oh, that reminds me. That makes me think. I wanted to ask you this question.
Okay.
What would you do with a guy? Say you got this guy, and in your opinion, he looks horrible to you. Like, it's like, this guy looks horrible. But y'all connect on so many levels. Do you think that could be a marrying guy? Like I could marry this guy.
Honestly,
You shook your head. No, you're shallow. You're shallow.
Like it was more of like I was pondering the scales of like, it would have to be a thing of like, you gotta be at least somewhat attractive to me. Cause this is my thing. Like, I've never had like he gotta be this tall, he gotta be that, he gotta have muscle. Like, I've never been like that. So like, I've had a dude that some people may consider ugly, you know what I mean? But because I got to know them, or because of their personality, or maybe I was young at the time, whatever the case may be, you know, like
that nigga you was crazy over back in high school. Ugh.
I wasn't crazy over.
It's a little bit crazy. A little bit.
No, I just feel like overall it was just a thing of where, you know, like it was a personality thing, like, and it was more. That's where I was saying like, you can have a personality in a sense where it's like, yeah, like this person is like, we match on all these different levels, but I do feel like over time you're like setting yourself up if that's not completely like everything that you want. Not saying that you have to find everything, because you know not everybody's perfect, but I do feel like attraction is a big part. Just the same way that a man, matter of fact, perfect example, the same way that a man would marry a woman that he's not, or not even marry, but just be with a woman that he's not completely attracted to, but she's great, she cooks and cleans, does his laundry, she's funny, she's this, she's that, she's smart, she's understanding, all of those things, but then he ends up cheating with the chick that looked like a Barbie doll, you know what I mean? Because he wasn't all the way there, like physically or mentally or whatever it might be. Or over time, it just ends up going down because whether you're tempted by other women, because like I said, women are getting more aggressive now. So whether you got the fine woman that's just like, I'll live for you, you know what I mean? And now you're like, wow, I didn't even know I had access to this.
It's gonna go down either way. You can never be fine enough to keep
anybody
that level up, and and it's not even about being fine. Like, say you click on every level, y'all clicked in. After a while, that stuff goes down for most. I think for most men, because a lot of us, and I was just talking to somebody about this. A lot of us got this mindset, and I don't know who, where it's like, all right, I've dealt with this woman, I've done this with that girl. Ever since an early age, you're trying to get your numbers up. Like, y'all trying to keep your numbers down as far as
the opposite.
Yeah, as far as the amount of people you're dealing with. And if you keep doing that to yourself, like, all right, who's the next woman? All right, who's the next woman?
Right.
If you keep doing that, then when you finally settle down, that program is still running.
It's still in the background.
And so after a while, you're like, man, my wife is the best thing that ever happened to me. But after a while, you'd be like, not like who's the next one, but like, the interest kind of died down a little bit.
There's another one. Like,
And you could say no other girl existed. Say only her, she was the only girl that existed in the world.
Yeah.
Then it was still like this feeling would die down. Like, all right, I've done this for a while. What's next? You know what I mean?
I think that can go with like, that's kind of life. You know what I mean? And that's why it's a constant challenge and a constant
spread
fight
across life itself.
You know what I mean? Because like even a kid whose favorite toy is like whatever, but then after a while it's like, okay, like I've had enough. Like, it's fun, but
but somebody else better not play with it, because they'll take it and put it straight up.
Exactly. Like, nope.
You ever see the little kid?
Yep.
Little kid be playing with your fire till like, I see a little kid come like, let's get that.
Thank you.
Put that right
Put that where it
was.
belongs.
There we go.
Right.
But that's how they do you as a person. They like they ain't messing with you.
Right.
Then some other nigga come along, he want to mess with you.
Oh, they don't want another. Yeah,
and
and
they
that's
want
the
to
thing.
put you back on the shelf.
That's the thing.
While they run around doing whatever they want to do.
Exactly, and I feel like that's the thing that is the constant challenge, because, like you said, like men
playing with all the toys. Go ahead.
because men are accustomed to, and I feel like that has to begin with the father aspect, not saying that every dad is like, get every chick that you can, you know what I mean? But whether it's an uncle or a grandpa or the whatever, whoever.
Yeah, because my dad, well, think about it. My dad never said that to me. He would never say nothing like that to me.
Right.
But it's like you pick up all this stuff along the way. Like, a lot of stuff we come from kids.
Yeah.
It's kids teaching kids.
Yeah.
And you follow these trends and different stupid things and ruin your life and behind something a kid told you.
Yep. And it's like, I told mommy that one time, like, we're all just, even adults, just big kids trying to get it together every single day. And the best thing that we can do is become better than we were before to get to better. Like, the more that we just, like, want to stay stuck, it's maturity. That's all it really is. And it's like, because I was saying, like, the difference between men and women, because we're so, like, conditioned to, you better not let a man even look at you, you know, that type of idealistic thing. It's like, but then men is like, the more the better. Hey, brother, you're dapping them up because so it becomes this accomplishment in their mind subliminally.
But and that's a system of checks and balances, in a sense. It's like procreation is a situation where, you know, we gotta create people to keep this world going.
Right.
And the system of checks and balances is where it's like, all right, you go out there, you get as many as you can. You go out there and you stop as many as you can. And somewhere we'll meet in the middle. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
as screwed up as it is, it's like, but now it's so screwed up because they teaching girls more to do your thing, get out there.
Women are more aggressive.
You can do like the fellas do.
The Meg Thee Stallion, and it's like, no judgment on anybody that listens to Meg Thee Stallion. Like, no, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that, oh, well, that's the problem, but I'm saying, like.
She gonna drag you when she see this. It's like she gonna see this.
Man, right. I don't care. Either way, because I'm not judging
all
anybody.
That smack till the fights happen.
I'm not judging anybody. All I'm saying is that mentality where it's like,
you
F a
backing down
nigga,
from
get
the
his
fight
money.
already.
Who, what?
Anyway, go ahead.
I'm telling you what it is. I'm not judging anyone, but I'm telling you that the mentality is what I feel like perpetuates the issue. It's like, F a nigga, get his money, use him if you want to, take whatever you want from him. Like, you know what I mean? That whole idea.
Yeah, I hate that. But I can't hate on that.
I'm not hating on that. But
no, I'm not saying you are. I'm saying I can't. When I look at it, it's like.
But when it happens to you, you would hate that, right? When it happens to a man, see, all women, this is what happens.
But they've been doing that.
But this is what happens.
They just ain't talk about it so much.
See, that's the thing. Not every woman has been doing that, though.
No, I'm not saying that. I know. Just like every man ain't doing the bad stuff that you hear the men say.
Exactly. And it's all according to our experience. And I feel like that's one of the biggest ways that we end up in this whole cycle of, all men do this or all women do that, because we've had our own experiences that gave us that idea. But we have to realize outside of ourselves and our experiences that, okay, that may not be every single person. Even if it was the last 3 people, you know what I mean? It still doesn't mean that every single person is like that. And I feel like to say like, well, women been doing niggas wrong, doing all this and do that. Yeah, but so have men. Men have always been doing what they want to do. You know what I mean? Like we had that one conversation where we was talking about like how if a man tells a woman like, hey, I don't want nothing serious, like we cool, we good, but I don't want nothing for real. But then they buying them dinner, taking them out, introducing them to the family, chilling with them, kicking it, it's only them. At some point in time, that woman is going to feel like, all right, so what we doing? You know what I mean? And that can go the same way for a man. Even if a man's, I just want to be friends. But
what if a man's like, see, this is what I don't like. That's what I was telling you before. Like, the thing I don't like is when it's a disingenuous approach by a woman who hears a man say that, and then they underneath it's like, well, I like this guy, so I'm going to take my time and see if I can push it and make it into something. Okay, more.
I see what you're saying. Like those women that play the victim afterwards, in a sense. I see what you're saying.
So when you go through it, and it's like, as you see this guy is doing everything that he said he was going to do. He's there, he's kicking it with you, having a good time. He said he wasn't trying to promise nothing to nobody. And sometimes even the woman be like, yeah, me neither.
Daddy. The same thing can happen the other way around. A man could
No, we know that. But that's not.
But I'm saying, so what happens after that?
So this is not an indictment on women. This is just an indictment on disingenuousness.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about the disingenuousness more so than the woman. So it's like if you come into something and somebody tells you what it is, and then because you want to try to create these avenues and make it something that it's not, that's fine. You got the right to try to create the life you want for yourself.
Yeah.
But what I don't like is when you come after the fact and you try to castigate the person who did the things they said they would do. Whether it's the woman or the man, it's like, man, bro, I'm keeping it just like I told you in the beginning. And it's like, nah, you played me because you did this and that and the third. And it's like, no, I basically held to the parameters that was set in the beginning. If you don't like it, that's cool. If you was trying to make it more than that, that's cool too. You had a right to try to create what you want out of this. But then don't come behind the fact if it don't work and then try to pretend like I'm the worst person in the world, because I'm not.
Yeah, and I feel like it's funny because the same way that it will be that way and women will play the victim too, I feel like, and maybe like we said, it's everybody's different experiences, but maybe you can understand where I'm coming from with the perspective of the same way that could happen is the same way that a man could act like he's cool with being friends with a girl. But we all know how we're like, once a man chooses a woman, like that's kind of like, oh, that's the thing. Like now the man made the decision now. But it's like, if a man wants to be cool with a woman, to get to know her, oh, I just want to get to know you. We can just be friends. But then they start to see like all of these different qualities, and you're this and you're that. So then they start to like buy you stuff or do stuff for you to try to like buy your affection or buy your way in.
Yeah, but that could be friends. Sometimes with a man especially, that's bullshit.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like they're a man.
From the gate.
Think about it. That's what I'm saying. That's the disingenuous approach from the man. Like saying, we can just be friends. But you know for a fact, either you trying to smash or you're trying to make something last.
When he invested too much money and it ain't popping off.
And then he get mad like, oh, I spent all this money. I already told you I wasn't looking for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
or I told
he played it so.
And that's the thing that I feel like. So it's like, in both situations where the woman plays the victim, like, you said that you were going to love me or whatever, and even if they didn't say that, but they were looking for that, and where the man could feel like they got played out of their money because they were trying to play the game or whatever, it's like, what do you do from that point? You know what I mean? Like, how do you move forward, or how do you come up with a better solution, approach, whatever the case may be, to make a better outcome? You know, like, as men and women, like, just be real, like, you know what I mean? But then it's one of those things where even if you're being real, like, what you want, I think it's about communication for real. Matter of fact, I think that's what it is, because it's like, once you start to feel like, if a man starts to feel like, okay, I'm really feeling her more than just the friend thing, and I don't want to be, but they feel like, oh, that's doing too much, or that's too much emotional stuff.
Communication is tough, because when you start with that junk, sometimes it derails everything.
And maybe it's
like
mental.
girls, like sometimes I see girls, I know, and sometimes
maybe that's your sign right there.
Sometimes
like,
people want to get what they can get before they derail everything.
That's the problem.
Like this is what I'm saying. Like sometimes girls like, if you just told me you had somebody, then we wouldn't have to talk. And it's like, then I wouldn't have got you.
Exactly.
So I lied.
That's being greedy, ain't it? And
so
that's the
that's
thing
horrible.
Too.
That's a horrible thing to do. I don't want you to think I think that's cool. That's a horrible thing to do. But people do it because they know, like, it's something here that I want, and for me to get what I want, I got to do it this way. So I wish I could have went the straightaway, but I feel like that the straightaway would have got me X'd out. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. But
That's
people do all these finesse games, just like girls run around like with these like super face full of makeups and these drag queen eyelashes and these wigs and stuff. It's like, you don't even know who that person is. Yeah. Like, I don't even know who you is. If I did all that stuff, you would cut me in half when you saw me. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like you start taking off your beard, took off your muscles.
Like, get this beard off.
Now you look like,
with the clean lip.
With the clean lip.
Yeah,
like, nah.
I don't know, hardly no black man look good with the clean lip. Like,
like, I feel like that's kind of the thing where, like, you have to keep it real within yourself. Don't be greedy. Like, if you know you already got something going on, cut that off. It's like cutting off your dead ends so your hair can grow the way it's supposed to, not keeping them dead ends in there, and now you got to cut off way more than you're supposed to.
But I wouldn't tell you to do that with a job. A job is important, right?
Okay, yeah.
A job is important. So, say you get another job lined up. This might be the job. This might be the one. But I'm not going to quit this job till I'm sure this job is okay.
Right.
People use that same mentality. I'm not going to quit this chick till I know this chick's okay. Because this chick's all right. She's on my nerves. I kind of don't like her. But I'm not leaving this till I'm sure this thing's going good.
Right.
And I think again, I think that's wrong to do that with people. So don't think that don't think that I feel like this is my thing that I want to do, because I don't. Right. But I can understand why it ends up happening. It's that same idea. And I want to wrap up too. I want to wrap things up pretty quickly here, because I want to just get some time to talk and get an idea of what we're doing here. We just having these discussions. I wanted to get into a fist fight today. I couldn't get it started, but
he didn't want to lose.
Next time. Till next time, we'll try to get that fist fight going for you. Going forward, I had a couple of topics. One thing we were talking about earlier was the idea of abortion. That's something I want to talk about next. I want to talk about some things about our past, like concerning your mother. And I know this could be a touchy subject concerning me and your mom, and how things went with us. And so we'll table that till next time. And for anybody who gets to see this, this has been the Daddy-Daughter Fist Fight podcast. We let you down. We didn't get the fight going this time, but we'll get it. We'll get it. Thanks for watching.